Hello, my name is Elias Muau, and today I'm going to take you through set theorem of mathematics, problem set 1. Now, this is in response to the demand that I received on my YouTube channel, people requesting that I do a recording on set theorem, and there were some questions that were posted. So in this session, I will take you through a problem involving construction of a Venn diagram, and then we can answer other questions that will follow. Please follow me as I present this question. So we are told that there were 110 students in the library who responded to how they completed their research paper. Three options were available. We have periodicals, P, we have web, W, and we have books, B. So 18 students only used periodicals, 29 students used the web and books, 15 students used books, the web, and periodicals, 40 students used books and periodicals, 20 students used the web and periodicals, 60 students used books, and 7 students did not use the web, nor the books, nor the periodicals. Now, this is a problem that we have been presented with, and we need now to work out this information to answer certain questions. To be guided, let's look at the following 4 sets of questions. Number 1, we are being asked to present this information on a Venn diagram. So we will draw a diagram and then present the 3 sets and put this information on those 3 circles that we'll draw on that diagram. So I'll take you through a step-by-step process on how you can actually put that information on the diagram. Okay, so how many students use the web in their research? The third question is how many students used books or periodicals? The fourth question is how many students used at least 2 options? Now, in case you've already dealt with sets before, it will be very good for you at this point to pause this video and then solve the question, then later on resume to see how your solutions compare with the ones that I'll present in this video. So follow me as we answer the first part of this problem, which is to present the information given on this part here on the Venn diagram. All right, so now let's look at how we can construct a Venn diagram. So the first thing that we need to note here is that the total number of students that we have in this library is 110. So this 110 therefore make up what we call the universal set. So the first thing we need to draw therefore is a universal set labeled by letter U. So what we have here is a universal set. Then now we can present the 3 sets within this universal set, which is a set of all the students who were in the library and who responded to how they completed their research paper. So we'll first present the first set, which is set P for periodicals. Then on this in this universal, we also put a set W for web, and we also put a set B for books. Now, coming up with this diagram is very simple, and every person probably who's seen these sets before will be able to draw. But the main issue is putting this information on this diagram. What are you supposed to start with? What are you supposed to consider when putting this information on this diagram? Given this information here, the first information we'll push on this diagram is the information that is informing us over the students who actually used all the 3. Okay, so we need to put information for the students who used all the 3 options. Those who used the periodicals and at the same time they also use the webs and they also use the books. So we want to put the intersection for all the three. So if we look at this information that we have here, we are told that 15 students used books, the web, and periodicals. So we'll get the 15 and put it in the center there, in the middle, the intersection of periodicals, the web, and the books. Now that we've put the 15, next we need to start putting now the intersection, the intersection between two sets. This is the intersection for the three sets. Now we put intersection for the two sets. So we'll put for periodicals and webs, we'll put for webs and books, and we'll put for books and periodicals. Once we are done with these three, then we can now move to individual sets where an individual or a student only used one option. So we've looked at a situation where students used all the three options. Next, we reduce to students using only two options. Then later on, we'll look at a situation where students only used one option. And finally, we'll look at a situation where students did not use any of the three options. By so doing, we will be able to cover all the 110 students without missing any. So now let's move in stages. So we are told from these 110 students, 18 students only use periodicals. So this is only talking about one option. So we'll wait, we'll hang on to this, we'll come back to read later. So 29 students used the web and books. So we need to get this 29 and put it where there is web and books. But take note that within this 29 we are talking about here, we already have 15 who actually use web and books and also use periodicals. So we are not going to get the 29 and put it here where there's web and books, because if we put this 29 here, then we will be double counting. We'll also be counting the 15 whom we've already counted. So we are going to remove 15 from 29. The remaining number is what we are going to put here. So if we remove 15 from 29, what will remain with is 14. So we are going to put 14 here on web and books, meaning that when we add 15 and 14, we will have 29, telling us that 29 students use the web and books. Take note again, viewers, that here we are not getting the entire 29 and pushing it here where there is only web and books. We are taking note that the 15 we have here used web and books and periodicals, and they are among those 29 we are talking about who use web and books. So we remove the 15 from the 29. The remaining value is the one that we are going to put here, so that when we talk about students who used web and books, we cover this circle here, and it will inform us that it's actually 29. So you can do the simple mathematics on your own, add 15 and 14 to get 29, and that's a number of students who used web and books. The next information we are going to get, we've already picked the 15, is this one here. 40 students used books and periodicals, meaning that now we move to books and periodicals, which is the intersection between these two, books and periodicals. So if we are being told that 40 students used books and periodicals, and we note that in the intersection for the three, we have 15. These 15 used books and periodicals. In addition, they also used the web. So we will not get the whole 40 and push it here, because by doing so, we will be double counting. So we'll get the 40 and remove 15, which we already have here. The remaining value, which is 25, is the one that we are going to push here, so that we have 15 plus 25 to give us a 40 who used books and periodicals. So we add our 25 there. So we can check that 25 plus 15 is indeed 40. So these 40 used books and periodicals in their research paper. We also have this part here where we see that again we have students who use the periodicals and web, and we can see that we already have a 15. So let's find that information from this situation we have and push the value that is supposed to be here. So we are told 20 students used the web and periodicals. So for the intersection for web and periodicals is 20. Now, like we've done for these others, we will not get the 20 and push it here because we already have the 15 who used web and periodicals. And in addition, these 15 also used the books. So we will get the 20, remove this 15. The remaining 5 is the one that we are going to put here. So we put our 5 there so that when we add 5 plus 15, we will get our 20. So these 20 then are the ones who used periodicals and books. Now that we've managed to add the intersection for the 3, intersection for 2 sets, we now move on to adding students who only used one option. So we can go back again to our top part of the information. We are told we have 110 students. Out of these 110, 18 students only used periodicals. Now here, this one is specific and it's direct. It's saying 18 students only used periodicals, meaning that these 18 then will be pushed where periodicals are. So we'll have 18 students there who only used periodicals because they did not use any other. To them, they only use periodicals in their research paper. So this information then will be carried the way it is and placed where there is periodicals. As we move down, we've already covered the 29, we've already covered the 15, we've already covered the 40, we've already covered the 20. We move down to the next one, which is 60. We are told that 60 students used books. Now, take note, this one here and the first one are different. The first one is saying 18 students only used the periodicals, meaning that these 18 did not use any other option, but only periodicals. This other sentence here is saying 60 students used books, meaning that regardless of what these students use, what is known about them is that 60 of them had an attachment or had contact with the books. So if we go to the book set, we see that in this book set, we have 25 and there are 15 and then 14, telling us that already we have 54 students who have used books from the information that we've already put on this diagram. So if we are told that 60 students used books and then we already have 54 in the set for books, it means the remaining 6 is the one that we are going to put in the set for books only. So that when we add the 6 plus the 25 plus the 15 plus the 14, the total will be 60, which is the number of students who used books. Take note again, this part here is not saying we have 60 who used only books, but 60 students used books regardless of what other options they touched. What we are being informed is that we have 60 who had contacts with the books. We move on to the next part. We are told that 7 students did not use the web, nor books, nor the periodicals, meaning that these 7 students did not use any of these 3 options that we have. It means that the 7 will not be part of any of these 3 sets. Instead, it will be outside these 3 sets. Because it is part of the 110, which is our universal set, we will add this 7 within the universal set, but not in any of these sets. So to do that, we'll simply put it outside these sets and the 7 will sit on its own outside the 3 sets. Now, if we add the 18 plus the 5 plus the 25 plus the 15 plus the 14 plus the 6 and plus the 7, the answer we are getting will not be 110. However, the information that we have here, because we've been told to present this information on the diagram, this information has been presented on the diagram the way it has been communicated. But there will be another question which will be coming asking us to find the number of students who use the web. But because you have this information and you are able to calculate that value, you may as well find that value. So we can add up all these numbers and the difference subtract from 110. By so doing, we will find a 20. So these values will give us 90. 90 from 110 will be 20. So it means that 20 students used only the web in their research paper. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we come up with a Venn diagram and how we fill up this information on the Venn diagram. Now let's answer the questions that follow. So question number 2 is asking us how many students used the web in their research paper. Now, before I present the answer, again, I challenge you, try to add to get the information from this diagram, since we've already filled in all the information, and answer this question, then compare with what I will present. All right, so in this diagram, if you look at this table, you may be tempted to say 20 students used the web. The answer is not 20. 20 students used only one option, which is the web. But the number of students who use the web will be the 20 plus the 5 plus the 15, which is taking us to 40, plus the 14, which is taking us to 54. So it will be 20 plus 5 plus 15 plus 14, which means that 54 students used the web. Okay, so we can move on. How many students used books or periodicals? Now, this question is asking us to combine the number of students who used books and the number of students who used the periodicals. Getting the number of students who use the books or periodicals. So or means union. If the question said books and the periodicals, we'll have been finding the intersection. So the and will represent intersection, the or will represent the union. So to find the number of students who use books or periodicals, we simply get the number of students who are who use books plus the number of students who use periodicals. So to do that, we're going to add up all the students who are in books and all the students who are in periodicals. Take care of double counting. Once you count students, don't count them again. So we have 6 plus 25 plus 15 plus 14 plus 5 plus 18. Meaning what we are removing is the 7 and the 20 because these are not part of books and periodicals. The rest we add up. Okay. So let me do this. Okay. So what we have now is the 18. So number of books union periodicals will be equal to 18 plus 5 plus 25 plus 15 plus 14 plus 6. Okay, so what you need to do is to add up these numbers because these are the ones we are finding in books and periodicals. They are the ones who use books and periodicals. Okay, so we have 18 plus 5 plus 25 plus 15 plus 14 plus 6. You get 83. Okay, so this will give us 83. How many students used at least 2 options? Now, again, here you need to be very careful. The question wants you to answer to provide the number of students or to give the number of students who used the at least 2 options, meaning 2 or more options, which means that we are going to remove those students who did not use any of the options and we'll remove those students who used only one option. which means that in this analysis, we are removing the 18 because they only used one option. We're removing the 7 because they did not use any option. We're removing the 20 because they only used one option. And we're removing the 6 because they only used one option. At least 2 means 2 or more. 2 or more. And on this diagram that we have, the more is 3 because we only have 2 options and using the 3 options. So we have those who use only 2, which is 5, 25, and 14, and those who use the 3 options, which is 15. Okay, so it will be 5 plus 25 plus 14 and then plus 15. So when we sum up, we add up these numbers. What we get is that the total number of students who used at least 2 options is 59. So this is going to give us 59. Okay, so 59 students used at least 2 options. Okay, so I'll remove the numbers that we don't need. What remains is what we will add up. So 5 plus 25 plus 14 plus 15, which will give us 59. So 59 students used at least 2 options. All right, so thank you so much for watching. In case you have any question, please send an email to muauelias@gmail.com or send a WhatsApp message to the number that is showing down the email address here. Remember to subscribe to the channel, Elias Moao, and also become a member so that you can be having live sessions, one-on-one sessions for your tutorials, one-on-one classes for your inquiries, and one-on-one classes for other issues relating to mathematics and economics. I'll see you in my next video where I'll be presenting problem set 2, still on construction of Venn diagrams under set theorem. Bye-bye.